Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We're studying lesson number 17, and today we're gonna study an important topic, which is al-adadu, the numbers. So in Arabic, different numbers have different rules. So we start from number 1 and number 2. Here is an example. Some examples here. La tastatiyu an tarifa laha manan wahidan. You cannot know, or you cannot define a single meaning of it. So here we see that the number wahid is coming here, single meaning. Kiratu kitabain isnaini, I read 2 books. So here the number 2 is coming in this example. Asharhu, the explanation. Maza tara fi hazain al misalaini, what do you see in these 2 examples? Raina annal adada ja'a ba'dal madudi. So we see that the adad, the numbers, these 2 numbers, ja'a ba'dal madudi, they're coming after the madud, the thing that is counted here. Here the madud is mana, and here the madud is kitabaini, the books, and meaning here. So these 2 are madud, and we see that the numbers are coming after the madud. Mal adadu wa mal madudu. What is the number and what is the madud, the thing that is counted? Al adadu huwa 1, 2, 3. These are called the numbers. Wal madudu huwa ashayyu allazi nuridu an na'uddahu. And madud is something that or something or someone that we want to count it. So the thing counted is madud, and the count, the number is adad. وهل يكون في اللغة العربية العدد بعد المعدود? Is in Arabic language, is the adad comes after madud, like is coming here? La, no. في اللغة العربية العدد قبل المعدود. In Arabic language, adad comes before madud. So the writer is going to explain why they are coming after. Normally they come before. وَلِمَاذَا جَاءَ فِي هَذَيْنِ الْمَثَالَيْنِ الْعَدَدُ بَعْدَ الْمَعْدُودِ. So then why in these 2 examples the number has come before madud? يَكُونُ هَذَا فَقَطْ مَا الْعَدَدَيْنِ 1 and 2. This happens for the case of only these 2 numbers, 1 and 2. لِأَنَّنَا فِي الْحَقِيقَةِ لَا نَسْتَخْدِمُهُمَا لِكَيْ نَعُدَّ الْمَعْدُودَ. Because normally in Arabic language we have words for 1 and 2. So normally we don't use the numbers with these 2 words. نَحْنُ نَسْتَخْدِمُهُمَا صِفَّةً لِلتَّوْكِيدِ. And if we write these 2, if we use them, they are only used for the as an adjective for emphasis. Like mana here is meaning, it is already singular, so we don't need that. Is just used as emphasis, as adjective, to show that there is no more than 1 meanings. Similarly, kitabaini is already 2 books, we don't need to use that. So it's just for emphasis that I didn't read more than 2 books, just 2 books. So we don't need to use these numbers, but they are used for emphasis, and so they are used as adjective. Kaifa, how? Nahnu la nukulu, we don't say wahidun kitabun, wala isnani kitabun, we don't say 1 book or 2 books. Walakin nakulu, but we say kitabun wahidun, 1 book, or kitabani isnani, or 2 books. Wahaza laysa wajiban, and this is not required, or this is not wajib. فنحن نستخدم هذا عندما نريد أن نؤكد أن العدد هو واحد أو اثنان لا أكثر. But we only use, means kitabun is already a book, so we don't need to use it, and kitabani is already 2 books, we don't need to use isnani. So when we want to make an emphasis, أن العدد هو واحد, this is 1 and this is 2 and not more than 1 or 2. So when we want to emphasize on the numbers, then we use that. فكيف نقول عادة, how do we say normally in routine? نقول, we say kitabun or أو kitabani fakat. We only say kitabun, a book, أو kitabani or 2 books fakat only. فكيف يكون إعراب هذين العددين? So how do we put إعراب on these 2 numbers? Because they are sifa, so the إعراب are just like masuf and sifa. هما صفة للمدود, because these 2 numbers are the sifa of the madud. وكما درسنا في درس الصفات, and in the lesson of the where we studied the adjective, we studied that فهما يكونان مرفوعين بعد مدود مرفوع. If the mawsuf is marfu, the sifa is gonna be marfu. ومنصوبين بعد مدود منصوب, or if the madud or the mawsuf is mansub, sifa is gonna be mansub. ومجرورين بعد مدود مجرور, or if the madud is majrur, the sifa is gonna be majrur. كما يكونان مذكرين بعد مدود مذكر, and if madud is muzakkir, number is gonna muzakkir. ومؤنثين بعد مدود مؤنث, and if the number is if the madud is muannas, the number is gonna be muannas. So the number has to follow its mawsuf in the number and in the gender. Here are the examples. Kitabun wahidun. So here we see rafa nasab jar, and you see the number following its mawsuf. The adjective is following its mawsuf in the i'rab. Kitabun wahidun, kitaban wahidan, kitabin wahidin. So this is for the case of masculine, and for the case of feminine, bintu wahidatun, bintan wahidatan, bintin wahidatin. So we see that the numbers are also feminine because the madud is feminine and is following the sign of rafa nasab jar. The number is following the same, following its mawsuf or its madud. This was for number 1, and for number 2, similarly we say kitabani isnani, kitabaini isnaini, kitabaini isnaini. So 2 books, rafa nasab jar, and isnani, isnaini, isnaini. Again they are as masculine. If the madud is feminine, bintani, isnatani, bintaini, isnataini, bintaini, isnataini. So, and these are feminine. So they are actually dual numbers. So it's dual by alif, dual by ya, and by ya. So it's rafa nasab jar. Similarly, isnatani is feminine, and following the same i'rab. Isnatani, isnataini, isnataini. So that was for number 1 and 2. Now we gonna study for how number 3 and 10, how do they work. Here is something missing, is misprint here. So this is actually kana yaishu salasatu astika. 3 friends were living. There were 3 friends living. So here we see number 3, salasatu, which is missing here. There is a misprint here. So maza tara fil hazal misali. What we see in this example, nara annal adada jaa qabla al madudi. Like we said that the adad should come before madud, with the exception of 1 and 2. So now we see that for number 3 and 10 and onward, adad is gonna come before madud. Like we see here, salasatu astika. Salasa is a number and is coming before the madud, the friends. Yes, wahaza huwa al-aslu fil lughat al-arabiyya, and this should be like this. Wahaza yakunu fi adadi min 3 ila 10, and this is for the numbers 3 to 10. Walakin, but hal tara shay'an akhara fi hazihi al-adadi. Do you see something else in these numbers? Like salasatu astika, do you see something else? We see that salasatu is feminine and friends, this is masculine. So this we see the difference here. Naam, yes. Indama yakunul madudu muzakkaran. When the madud is muzakkar, yakunul adadu muannas. Just like I said that astika is muzakkar, friends, and the number is feminine. So they just work oppositely. When the madud is muzakkar, masculine, the adad is feminine. Wa indama yakunul madudu muannasan. And when the madud is feminine, yakunul adadu muzakkaran. The number becomes masculine. Ma mana haza, what does this mean? Al adadu min 3 to 10 yukhaliful maduda fit tazkiri wa tanisi. The number from 3 to 10 does not agree to the madud in masculine and feminine, or in other words, it just goes opposite. If madud is masculine, number is going to be feminine. If madud is going to be feminine, number is going to be masculine. So it's just going to work opposite to the madud. Wahalil madudu mufradun aw jamun. Another thing is, if the madud is mufrad or jam or plural. When we said astika, so it's definitely plural. So answer is jamun, is should be plural. For 3 to 10, the madud should be plural. Wahal huwa marfuun mansubun or majrurun. Is it marfu, mansub or majrur? Huwa majrurun fanahnu natabiruhu mudafan alayhi. It is majrur and it is it is expressed as a mudaf alayhi, because it is written as mudaf alayhi, so it is majrur. We can see some example here down there. For example, this is from 3 to 10. Salasatu kutubin, arba'atu kutubin, khamsatu kutubin, sittatu kutubin, sabatu kutubin, samaniyatu kutubin, tis'atu kutubin, ashratu kutubin. So we see that this is plural kutubin and is majroor because is the mudaf alayhi of this salasatu, arbatu, khamsatu, sittatu, sabatu, samaniyatu, tisatu, ashratu. And kitab is a masculine word, but the numbers are feminine. Now opposite to that, we have the madud here, binatin, the girls, which are feminine, and we see that the numbers are used are masculine. Salasa binatin, arba'u binatin, khamsu binatin, sittu binatin, sabu binatin, samani binatin, tis'u binatin, ashru binatin. 3 to 10. So wahal huwa marfu, so we see that they are majroor because they are expressed as mudaf alayhi, and mudaf alayhi has to be majroor. So all the madud are plural, all these are plural and they are majroor, and all the other are in gender opposite in gender of the madud. Wama irabul adadi, what is the irab of adad? Huwa marfoon or mansubun or majroorun hasba wazifati fil jumlati. So this the numbers, they can be marfu, mansub or majroor depending on their use in the sentence. Like salasatu, salasata, salasati. So they can be marfu, mansub or majroor. But this one is gonna say majroor and in plural form. Okay, and maza nafhamu min haza, what we understand from this? Al adadu min 3 to 10 tukhaliful maduda fit tazkiri wa tanisi. Madud, the numbers, they go against the madud or do not agree with the madud in masculine and feminine. And yakunul madudu jaman majruran, and madud becomes plural and majroor as mudaf alayhi. And wala nansa, we do not forget anna that al adada yakunu hasba wazifati fil jumlati, that this adad can be marfu, mansoob or majroor. Like here we see salasatu kutubin, 3 books in marfu form, salasata kutubin, 3 books in mansoob form, salasati kutubin, 3 books in majroor form. And again this is numbers are feminine and madud is masculine. And in opposite, when madud is feminine, we see number is masculine. Salasu bin banatin, salasa banatin, salasi binatin. So rafa nasab jar. This was for number 3 to 10. Now we come to number 11. Masha rajulun min al-Kahirati ila al-Iskandariyati fi ahada ashara yawman. A man walked to Cairo from Alexandria in 11 days. So the number for 11 is ahada ashara. The explanation: Ainal adadu, where is the number? Ahada ashara, that is the number. Wamaza nara, what we see? Maduduhu mufradun mansubun. We see that the number is plural 11, but the madud is singular yawm, yawman. Wahaza fi kullil adadi min 11 to 99, and this happens for all the numbers from 11 to 99. That even the numbers are plural, the madud is going to be mufrad mansoob, singular and mansoob. Walakin maza anil adadi, but what about the number? What about the number? So we understand this rule for the madud. What about the number here? What are the rules here? Huwa juz'ani kalimatani, these are 2 words. Wa huwa mabniyun alal fathil juz'aini fi mahalli, anything rafin nasbin jar. So this number is going to be mabni, means this won't change in the rafa nasab jar. Walakinna, but al adada fil misali yuwafiku maduda fit tazkiri, but we see that that the number agrees to madud in tazkiri, in masculine. Wahal yuwafiku aidan fit tanisi, does it also agree with feminine naam? Yes. So the number, this number 11 is gonna follow its madud in gender. If it's gender, if madud is masculine, number is going to be masculine, and if it's feminine, number is going to be feminine. Here are the examples. Ahada ashara kitaban, 11 books. So we said that kitaban is singular, mufrad mansoob, and the number is ahada ashara, and because it's masculine, and here it is feminine. Ihda asharata bintan. So you see asharata feminine, ihda feminine because madud is feminine. Ihda asharata bintan, 11 girls. So what we see here, the madud is singular, 1 word, mansoob, and the number is mabni. It won't change in rafa nasab jar, but it agrees to the madud in gender. If it's masculine or feminine, the number is gonna follow that, and this we see that we see the change here because this is feminine. Number 12. Here is an example. Shahuru sanati isna ashara shahran. In a year there are 12 months. So here the number for 12 is isna ashara. Aina al adadu, where is the number? This is the number isna ashara. Wa maza nara, what do we see? Maduduhu mufradan mansuban. We already said that from 11 to 99 the madud is going to be singular, mufrad and mansoob, and we see that shahran, we're talking about 12 months, but shahr is singular and is mansoob. Walakin maza anil adadi, but what about the number? That's for madud. What about number? Huwa juz'ani kalimatani, again these are 2 words. We see that isna ashara, these are 2 words. Al juzu awwalu murabun wasaniyu mabniyun fi mahalli. So for the case of number 11, they both were mabni, and they won't change their state in rafa nasab jar. They are mabni. But here for the case of number 12, one is mabni and one is morab. So juz awwal is morab and juz sani, second part is mabni. So means second part won't change, the first one will change with in the rafa nasab jar. And they follow the i'rab of musanna. I'rab of musanna means, just like if we use muslimani to muslim, muslimani, muslimaini, muslimaini, so they will change their form according to this the way this is changing, ani, aini, aini. Similarly for feminine, muslimatani, muslimataini, muslimataini. So, and we can see here in the example, ولكن العدد في المثال يوافق مردود في التذكير ويوافق أيضا في التأنيث. And we see that the number follows its mardud in gender, in the masculine gender. But does it do the same for feminine? Yes. So just like number 11 is gonna follow, the number is gonna follow its mardud for gender, and if it's masculine, it's gonna be masculine. If feminine, it's gonna be feminine. But his only thing is the first part is more. So for example, just like we said muslimani, muslimaini, muslimaini, here we don't need that. So yeah, so like similarly muslimani, muslimaini, muslimaini, here we see isnani, isnaini, isnaini, because is and noon is omitted because is isna ashara, isnaini, isnaini ashara, because this is mabni, is actually like mudaf alayhi, so we can't use noon here. So is isna ashara, isnaina ashara, isna ashara, isnai ashara, and isnai. So for nasab jar is the same form like ani, aini, aini. So rafa nasab and jar is same, and this is the rafa form, and this is for the case of if the madud is masculine. And ashara, this won't change, but this is for the case of masculine. For the case of feminine, we see asharat is asharata, becomes feminine, isna becomes isnata, becomes feminine, but the same thing isnatani, isnataini, isnataini, and we can't use noon, bintan, bintan, and this is singular and is mansub. So number 11 and number 12, the only difference is the first part of the adad, which is morab, and the second part won't change, it is mabni. Now we come to number 13 to 19. Here is an example. Qazayna fil Askandariyati khamsata ashara yawman. We spent in Alexandria 15 days. The explanation, Ainal adadu. We see that this is 15, this is the number. Khamsata ashara. Wa maza nara, what do we see? Maduduhu mufradun mansubun. This is mansub. We already said that from this gonna stay singular mufrad mansub for from 11 to 19. So this is the same ruling we studied before. Walakin maza anil adadi, but what about the number? Huwa juz'ani kalimatani wa huwa mabni ala fathil juz'aini fi mahalli rafa nasab jar. So and the number here is the two words juz'ani or kalimatani, and they are mabni, so means they will not change in the rafa nasab jar form in any state. They stay the same. Walakin hal yuwafiqul maduda aidan fit tanisi wa tazkiri, but does the number follow agrees to the madud in gender, in masculine and feminine? Al juzul awwalu yukhalifu, the number, first part of the number, it goes against in gender, like number 3 and 10, like we studied in number 3 and 10. Wal juzu sani asharata bimufradiha yuwafiku, but the the second part that agrees. So the first part does not agree, just like 3 to 10, but the second part it agrees to the gender. Here is an example. Salasata ashara kitaban. So we said that the first part, this is salasata, this does not agree because kitaban is masculine, this is feminine. Similarly, masculine, this is feminine. Ashara, but this, the second one, it agrees. Masculine. And for feminine, salasata asharata bintan. You see now ashara change to asharata because bintan is feminine, and but the first part it goes is going against, is masculine here, and the madud is feminine. So that was for number 13 to 19. And now we come to the multiples numbers 20, 30, 40, etc. What are the rules for the alfazul ukud? These are called alfazul ukud because they're called the words of knots. So when we have a knot of like a multiple of 10 counted in tied group of 10, so that is why they call the words of knots, alfazul ukud. So what are the rules for 20, the multiples of 20, 30, 40, 50, etc. Here is an example. Ash-shahru salasuna yawman. A month has 30 days. So here salasuna is the number. Ainal adadu, where is the number salasuna? Wa maza nara, what do we see? Maduduhu mufradun mansubun. That first of all we see that this one is mansub, like we said, from 11 to 19 is going to be singular and mansub, and we see yawman. Walakin maza anil adadi, but what about the number? Huwa kalimatun murabatun bi irabi jama muzakkar salim. So now for these 20, 30, 40, before there were two part of the number, now is only one part, and this is morab. This is morab. Mean this will salas, and this is morab, and this will change its form like jama muzakkar salim, like we have muslimuna, muslimina, muslimina. So it's going to be salasuna, salasina, salasina. Something is going to change like that for rafa nasab jar. हुआ कलिमतुन मुरबतुन बिराबी जम मुज़क्कर सालिम वलाकिन हल युवाफिकु मदूदा ऐदन फी तनीसी व तज़कीरी. But what about the gender? Does it agree to the gender or not? La yuwafiku wa la yukhalifu. It does not, it neither agrees nor disagrees. Lianna lahu shaklun wahidun, because they have their own form. So they neither agree nor disagree because they have their special form, or they have their own one form. For example, when we say ishruna kitaban, 10 books in the rafa form, and the nasab jar we're gonna say ishrina kitaban, and we're gonna say the same, either it is masculine kitaban or bintan. This not gonna change. So it's neither gonna agree or disagree. So then, because they're gonna stay in the same shaklun wahidun. Similarly, if we're gonna use salasuna, so this was ishruna, ishrina, and this is now salasuna, salasina, 20, 30, kitaban, bintan. So this is gonna have their own forms. Okay, now what about indama nuridu an naktuba, like other numbers which are not a multiple of 10? What is the rule for those numbers? Yakunul adadu min juz'aini. For those numbers, again the adad becomes two parts. Al awwalu Al-awwalu indahu qawaidul adadi min 3 to 10. Wasaniyu indahu alfazul ukud. So for the other numbers which are not 20, 30, like 21, 2, 3 or 31, 2, 3, like so on, or 30 or these numbers. So the rule is that the is going to be two part of the number. The first part is going to behave like 3 to 10 that we have studied above. That is going to be opposite in gender. And the second one is going to be like for 20 is going to be ishruna, ishrina is going to be that number, and the 3 to 10 is going to the number is going to be opposite to the gender. For example, sittatun ishruna kitaban, sittatan ishrina kitaban, sittatan ishrina kitaban. So we see that now kitaban is this gender is masculine. Just like for 3 to 10 we said that the number is going to be opposite in gender. So sittatun, sittatan, sittatin, this is coming as a feminine. Similarly, now for the bintan, the madud is masculine, sittun, sittan, sittin, and then the second part is going to be for the case of 20, 30, 40, that going to be the number like for ishruna and ishrina, ishrina, and that gonna be that number. So awwal indahu qawaidu ala, so the first part is gonna follow the rules for 3 to 10, and the second one follow the rule for this one, al adadu, the same rule that we have studied here, al fazul ukud is gonna follow that rule. And then finally 100 to 1000 and the multiple of these two, what is the rule for that? Here is an example. Haza rajulun asha miyata sanatin. This man, he lived like 100 years. So this is the number, miyat, 100. Ainal adadu, where is the number? Miyata. Wamaza an madudihi, what about the madud? So now we are number 100, so that rule will not apply. That it's going to be singular. From 13 to 19 that we said, this gonna be singular mansub. Now this rule not gonna apply. So wamaza an madudihi, what about madud? So now we see that it is coming as a mudaf alayhi, is majroor, sinatin. Maduduhu mufradun majroorun is kana mufrad. So if the thing counted is mufrad, then is going to be mufrad majroor. Wa jamun majroorun is kana jamun. When the thing counted is, when the madud is plural, then this number is going to be plural. Miyatun wa alfun, like wa maza afatuhuma, and this rule is for 100, 1000 and their multiples. Walakin maza anil adadi, but what about the adad? Huwa kalimatun morabun bi rabil mufrad. This is gonna be morab word and is gonna follow the irab of mufrad like un and in. So walakin hal yuwafiqul maduda aidan fit tanisi wa fit tazkiri. Now the question is, does it agree to madud also in gender? No. La yuwafiqu wa la yukhalifu, it neither agrees nor disagree because it has a own shape, it has a own form. So here is an example. We said that when is mufrad is going to be, when the madud is mufrad, is going to be mufrad, like kitabun. Here kitab is mufrad, so miyatu kitabin. And when the book is plural, is going to be miyatul kutubi is majroor. This is for the rafa form. And then miyata kitabin and miyatil kutubi in the nasab form, and miyati kitabin and miyatil kutubi, and this is in the jar form. So rafa nasab jar, and is is morab, and the irab is like a mufrad, u, a or e. And this was the case of masculine. For feminine, we see that this will not change because this is uh, because this has a la yuwafiku wa la yukhalifu. This has its only one form, so this won't change whether madud is masculine or feminine. So here miyatu, miyatu, miyata, miyati, 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 miyati for 100, bintin, and this is for girl. So the same madud changed, but the number is same, and it is morab, so it follows unanin form like a mufrad, because he's coming here as mudaf, so is no un is u, a or e, and same here. So this was for the numbers. Now this summary, we have this summary. This will explain everything very clearly. So al adadu mal madud muzakkar, and what the number when the madud is muzakkar. So here we see for the number one, we don't need to use the number. Kalamun, kalam, and is marfu or mansoob or majroor, rafa form, nasab form, and jar form. So and we kalamun, kalaman, kalamin, one pen. Kalamani, kalamaini, kalamaini, two pens. Here we using kalam, which is masculine. Okay, now from 3 to 10 we studied. I have a summary here. Al adadu min 3 to 10 yukhaliful maduda fi tazkiri. It disagrees with the madud, or it goes against with the madud in fit tazkiri wa tanisi in gender. Wal madudu jamun majrurun liannaha na tabiru mudafun alayh, and the madud is plural majrur because is considered as mudaf alayh. So in other words, from 3 to 10 it goes against the gender, like you see here. The pen is masculine and the number is feminine, is from 3 to 10, and then the madud is plural and majroor is coming at mudaf alayh. So salasatu aklamin, arbatu aklamin, asharatu aklamin, and this is morab. This gonna change. For this is for in the rafa form. For the nasab form, salasata aklamin, arbata aklamin, and so on, asharata aklamin. And in majroor form, salasati aklamin, arbati aklamin, asharati aklamin. So we see that these the number they are against the madud in gender, but they are they decline in the rafa nasab jar. And if we see the same chart for feminine, we can see the difference here, that this will change. So if we look at the next page, al adadu mal madudil muannasi. So now this is the feminine word, varakatun, the paper, varakatun, varakatan, varakatin. So one, varakatani, varakataini, varakataini, two papers. And then salasu aurakin. So we see that now the number is masculine. Salasu aurakin, arba'u aurakin, asharu aurakin in the rafa form, and salasa aurakin, arba aurakin, ashara aurakin up to in the mansoob form, and in the majroor form, salasi aurakin, arba'i aurakin, ashari aurakin. So and we see that this is opposite to the madud, the number. Now if we look at number 11, so we studied that number 11 is madudun mufradun. So now we see that for number 11 to 19 the madud should be singular and it should be mansoob, and we see that, like if you look at from number 11 to number 99, this yellow, you see the madud is all singular and mansoob. You can see that I have highlighted this in yellow to show that this does not change. This stays mansoob and singular. Okay, and what else? Well, adadu huwa juz'ani, and then for number 11 is two words and they are mabni, which means ahada ashara, it won't change. Ahada ashara kalman in marfu form, ahada ashara kalman in mansoob form, ahada ashara kalman in majroor form, and is mabni. So if we go to in the feminine chart, we see that ihda ashara waraka 11 pages, ihda asharata warakatan. So it is not changing, it's just following the gender, but it is mabni. It says here it is mabni, is not changing in the rafa nasab jar form. So it is agreeing to the madud in gender, but is mabni. So this is what we studied here. But here for the number 12, one part is mabni and one part is morab. Madudun mufradun mansubun min, again 11 to 19. This is mufrad mansub, and the number is juz'ani. Juz awwal morabun walusani mabniyun, and the number 1 is morab, mean this will decline in the rafa nasab jar form, but the second part is mabni, it won't change. So for example, for number 12, isna ashara kalman, 12 pens. You see here, now it should be is like isnaini, but noon is omitted because it's like mudaf alayh, and ashara is not changing. Isna ashara kalman, isnai ashara kalman, isnai ashara kalman. And for the case of feminine, is gonna follow the madud, and we can see here isnata asharata, because now is feminine. So isna ashara changed to isnata ashara. Asharata will not change because Jusani is mabni, and the first one is isnata, isnatai is actually isnatani, isnataini, and noon is omitted. And now coming to number 13 to 19, salasata ashara kalman to tisata ashara kalman. What rule we studied about this one? Al adadu huwa juz'ani mabniyun al fathi. So the first thing is that the madud is gonna stay singular mansub, and the other is gonna be again two parts. Wal juzu awalu yukhalifu misla adada 3 to 10 wasani yuafiku. So the first part is gonna be same like this 3 to 10, salasatu arbatu asharatu, and this is gonna be the same, that if this is gender is masculine, number is going to be feminine. Wal juzu sani yuwafiku, juzu awwalu yukhalifu misla adad, and juzu sani. So then the second one ashara, salasata is going to be against in gender to the madud, and the second one is going to agree to the gender. So here the kalaman is because this madud is masculine, so is feminine, from salasata to tisa, and they all mabni, and they won't change. Like you see here, salasata ashara, the two numbers, they are mabni, they won't change. Now for the case of feminine, so we see that just like it said here, that waljuzu sani yuwafiku, so second part should agree and the first part should go against. So now for the masculine, this is against, the number is against, the first part is against, second part is same. Now we should see the opposite here for the feminine. So we see that warakatan now is feminine, so salasa is masculine, but this follows, this does not follow. Salasata ashara warakatan, and they all mabni, so they won't change. Salasata ashara warakatan, from 13 to 19. And now for multiples, coming to multiples of 20, 30, 40. So what is the rule here? Huwa kalimatun morabatun bi arabi jama muzakkar salam bal la yuwafiku wa la yukhalifu. So we said that this is the special form it neither agrees nor disagrees to the madud, is gonna stay in this form, but is gonna it is morab, is gonna decline like jama muzakkar salam, like muslimuna, muslimina, muslimina, ishruna, ishrina, ishrina. And if we look at the feminine chart, we see that ishruna varakatan, ishrina varakatan, ishrina varakatan is the same whether it is masculine or it is feminine. And this is for 20, 30, 40, 50 and so on. Now for the 21 to 99, other than those multiples, so what is the rule here? Again, from up to 99, the madud is going to be singular and mansoob. So we seeing that all the yellows here. Now what about the number? So the number is going back to two numbers with the waw in between. So like if it's ishruna is 20, then wahidun wa ishruna is 21, 22 23, and this is 99. So yakunul adadu min juz'aini, again the number becomes two parts. Awwalu indahu qawaidul adadi min 3 to 10, and the first part is gonna follow the rules of 3 to 10, and sani is gonna follow the rules of these the multiples. Alfazul akudi wa bainahuma harful atfi, and it is between is gonna be waw. So what was rule for 3 to 10? So 3 to 10, the rule was the number is gonna be opposite in gender to the madud. So we see that salasatu, this is masculine, this is feminine, and tisatu, masculine, feminine. So we see that the first part is opposite in gender, and the second part is, we see that the second part has a special form, is gonna stay the same, ishruna, 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 and for tasuna, salasuna, khamsuna is gonna change, but is gonna stay in the same form. So just follow this rule for the second part, and for the first part follow the rule of this one, 3 to 10, and is gonna be the same for feminine. Wahidatun wa ishruna, so we see that this following this is for 3 to 10, wahidatun varakatan, isnani, slasun varakatan. So you see that this the from 3 to 10 the number is masculine, and the madud is feminine, and ishruna is gonna stay the same here. And the finally for 100 or 1000, what is the summary, what is the rule here? So madudun mufradun majrurun, so madud is now mufrad and majrur, it now change from mufrad mansoob to majrur. Wajamuhu majrurun, if it's single, if the madud is singular, is going to be singular, if it's plural, is going to be plural, just like we studied above. And huwa murabatun bi arabil mufrad, and is going to be murab, is going to be miyatu, miyata, miyati, alfu, alfa, alfi, like the irab of mufrad. La yuwafiqu, la yukhalifu, it does neither disagree or agree, because this is only one form. So miyatu kalmin, miyatu kalmin, miyatu kalmin, miyata kalmin, miyati kalmin for 100 pence. Alifu kalamin, alfa kalamin, alfi kalamin for 1000 pence. This is for masculine, and feminine is gonna stay the same. Miyatu varakatin, miyata varakatin, miyati varakatin, alfu varakatin, alfa varakatin, and alfa varakatin. So that was for the numbers. So I'm going to stop it here, and we will study some other concepts of this lesson, like we have to study at-tamiz, and I think there is a couple more, and we'll do in the next session, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.